I'm fighting back the tears for the passing of Mr. Peanut. We'll keep you posted on what the arrangements are going to be right after the Super Bowl. But more importantly, right here in New York, we have a world-class lion loser, Michael Avenatti, who was plastered all over the left-wing liberal media behind bars right around the corner at the Metropolitan Detention Center. And Jeff, as an esteemed and reputable, respectable attorney, what light does this shed on all attorneys when you got a mutt like this that has done horrible things to his clients and others?
He's not a criminal lawyer, so that makes it a little bit better. I mean, I feel bad for him in a way because I know what the MCC, the SHU, the Special Housing Unit is like, because I've been there 100 times to see Chapo Guzman there. And he's in a very tight, small cell when he meets with lawyers. He's locked in there. There is glass between the attorney and Avenatti. You can't pass any documents. It's a very tiny little area. You've got to get permission to pass it. He has no contact with any other inmates, and he's really isolated. Now, the reason that they're doing it is purportedly to safeguard him because he's a high-profile detainee, and they're afraid that perhaps he'd get killed if he's in general population. Of course, he wants to get out. He wants to be able to use the phone. He wants to be able to have some freedom of movement. But look, he did this to himself. He was remanded from the California judge, which is the case where he was stealing from all of his clients. Apparently, while he was out on bail, he was stealing from them again. He was hiding money, and that's why he got remanded. That ended up postponing the Manhattan trial, and now it's scheduled to go, I think, next week.
So just to be clear on this, right? We see this all the time with lawyers and their escrow accounts. This guy was settling cases for his clients, not informing them that they had got a settlement. The money comes into his escrow account, and he's just spending his client's money. Is that right?
That's exactly what it is, and it's absolute madness. I mean, it's complete insanity. Not only was he doing that, he had to know that he was going to get caught, but he also was high profile, bashing the president, stating that he wanted to run for president, that he had a committee formed. He was basically campaigning. The guy is clearly mentally ill. At some point after he's convicted, and I'm not sure he's going to be convicted in Manhattan. I don't think the Nike case, which is the extortion case in Manhattan, is particularly strong. The case in California for robbing all of his clients, he's dead to rights on now. Dead in the water. So he's going to appear in front of a judge at one point, begging and saying that he had mental illness and that he couldn't control his impulses. I don't think you're going to find a judge who's going to have any sympathy for him because he's such an obnoxious a-hole.
I mean, I think we were going to go with the word sleazebag, but I kind of agree.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I'd appreciate
but let me ask you something. Talking about the MCC and the SHU, is this the same room that Jeffrey Epstein was in? Because I know you were telling me that Epstein was allowed to meet with his lawyers in this bigger room,
Correct.
A luxurious room.
It's a good
So
memory.
he's getting a different treatment than Epstein, this guy.
Epstein was in the SHU, but he was allowed to meet on the regular attorney's floor. He was locked into a room, however. That was the only thing that would reflect his placement in the SHU. Avenatti is forced to meet where I met with Chapo, which is inside the SHU. It's absolutely horrific. He's not going to be there forever. My guess is it'll be a few more days, and that'll be that. But it really is a horrible situation. I mean, Guzman was in there for over 2 years. He was 2.5 years inside that place. He was starting to lose it because he had no contact with anybody. There's no stimulation, and the light is on 24 hours a day. Now, of course, all that was supposed to protect the inmate, and we saw what happened with Jeffrey Epstein. It didn't exactly work.
Jeff, the reason that you think the Nike case is not that strong for Avenatti is because the purported extortion could easily be explained away as typical lawyer negotiating? I
think so. I think that's part of it, is that it's a very fine line between extortion and like sharp lawyering. In addition, people hate Nike. They're a gigantic, especially in Manhattan, they're a gigantic global conglomerate. They're basically making all this money off of these college kids, and the college kids are getting nothing. People don't like that. Anybody who knows college basketball is sickened by Nike. So I think that there's a chance he could skate on that case. But the case in Cal, it really doesn't make a difference, because if he wins the Manhattan case, if he gets a full acquittal, he stays in prison, he stays and then gets shipped to California for that case, which isn't scheduled to go for months. So he's going to rot in a prison in California. He will surely be convicted in California, and then it's, so they can even use the conduct in New York. Even if he's acquitted, they could use that for sentencing against him in California.
So even if he's found not guilty on this case here in New York, they'll still hold him in jail here in New York pending his trial in Cali?
They'll ship him locked with his hands handcuffed. He'll be sent to California. He'll end up in a prison there because remember, he's been remanded. He was denied bail. His bail was revoked in the California case. His bail has not been revoked in New York. So they put him in jail in California, but he happened to have an appointment in New York for that trial. So they moved him, and it took days for him to get there. It's a horrific place to be. It's a horrific trip. When you can fly to California directly, you fly. You've got a plane. You've got some freedom. When you're going on the the prison plane, the Marshall plane, sometimes there's 6 or 7 stops. There's buses involved. It could take forever. It's really a disgusting situation. But I would say to Mike Avenatti, what the hell were you thinking?
I agree. In our final minute here, Jeff, I know you're a big opponent of Iran. Iran's come out and said that there's going to be no nukes. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, they've been saying this for I don't know how many decades, that there's fatwas against nukes. You can't trust a single thing they say. They also claim that they didn't shoot down that commercial airline and said that it was an American plot to blame it on Iran. Well, they shot it down with 2 missiles because they're absolutely incompetent, or maybe they wanted to kill the people inside that plane. This is the worst terror state on the planet, and it's probably the worst terror state since Nazi Germany. You have to continue to starve them. I think that President Trump should be even more aggressive. We were told that when they killed Soleimani that World War III was coming. Guess what?
Nothing happened.
World War III. We just happened to kill a modern-day Hitler.
Let's ring the bell on that one. There was no World War III, and we got one of the greatest leaders of state-sponsored terror off the planet. Great. Hallelujah for our president. Jeff, thanks so much for joining us. Please come back anytime you wish.
Thank you.
You don't go anywhere. Stay right there. We're coming back after this with my brother Derek. He's our man on the street. Right after that, we're going to be talking real estate with Will McLarnon and Jackie Phillips. You're watching Liquid Lunch. Stick with us right there.